Hi, everyone. This is Rob Lofaris. Today is Friday, January 12th, 2024. I'm with Daily Classics, and we're a Facebook group with over 10,000 members of highly enthusiastic crazies like myself. And each day I search and review thousands of affordable collector cars from the 1960s to present, and then handpick just a few worthy enough to recommend based on uniqueness, condition, price, and value. And along the way, we share, discuss, and learn from everyone's automotive experiences. The key is having fun and driving something you love from the not so distant past rather than buying something new for $47,000. If you're not already a subscriber to this YouTube channel, please subscribe below. And if you like the video too, please do so as well if you're so motivated. Now, let's get into today's feature car. Today's feature car is a 1983 Mercedes Benz 300 SD. This car was found on Facebook Marketplace. It's based in Michigan, and the seller, which I believe is a dealer, is selling the car for $12,900. At first blush, I almost passed on the car. I thought it was a little too high, but then I came back to its condition, and I have to say the car is really nice. They say the car is a one-owner car. The person that's selling it is probably the dealer who bought it as a one-owner car. It's got 152,000 miles, which is not a lot for the five-cylinder, 3-liter turbo diesel engine, which pumped out about 125 horsepower, I believe. And at above cruising range at about 75 miles an hour, you can get 25 miles per gallon with this car with no problem, which was a lot of gas mileage for its time. I know gasoline, diesel gasoline is not as cheap as it once was, but it's coming down in price as well. But they're beautiful cars. They run really well. They're full-size cars. They really are an amazing automobile. This is the second generation, this W126 body style. This is the second generation of the S Class, and this style ran from 79 to 1991. So it's a more refined than the first generation S Class, and the body style lasted a long time as well. Getting into the digital walk around, because that's the only thing we can do when you look at the car. The overall condition of the car is spectacular. American, DOT lighting, so the car is not a gray market car. A little rust on the license plate frame. There's some rust spots on some of the lug nuts and all, but the car overall is amazing. If it is indeed the original paint, it shows very, very well. I don't see any dings or dents. Of course, it's hard to see in the photos, but all the bright work, the paneling and all, that's all original. The interior is amazing. So if the interior gives me any indication of how the car is kept all these years, it's worthy, almost worthy of the asking price. And it gets closer and closer as you get to know the car. Of course, you got to see these things in person, right? But no paint fading, which is common for that year. Any Mercedes Benz, the paint fades on the hood line and the interior. A lot of the interior pieces shrink and with age, but this car has none of that. This car has air pumps for the lumbar support, which I don't remember. I remember they had them, but I just don't remember seeing them as a US spec car unless this was port installed, but I'm not that versed in this model year. But anyway, everything is very pretty. The interior of the car is great. The dashboard's great. The woodwork is fantastic. It's got the original Becker radio. It even has the Hirschfield antenna, which was original OEM stuff for that year. So overall, it's great. How's the condition of the car? Make sure everything works. The controls, the cruise control works. Make sure all the buttons work for the windows. These button switches here, because they're in the center console, a lot of times they got dirty. The biggest expenses on these cars, other than the fuel and the injection pumps and things like that, ends up being air conditioning, and just common things like anything that's vacuum actuated, the doors and the power doors and things like that. But other than that, the car looks fantastic. So is the car worth 12.9? It's definitely worth 10, from what I can see. But of course, we got to see these in person. I'd like to know a little bit more of the story of the car, where it came from, because it really doesn't look like a Michigan-based car. But anyway, overall, it's a great car. On the three suggestions and categories to buy it, negotiate, or walk away, I would say this is a strong buy if you love these Dr. Diesels as much as I do. Anyway, that wraps it up tonight. I don't want to spend too much time on these brief videos. But if you're not a subscriber to the YouTube channel, please subscribe. That helps us out a lot. And if you like the video, please give a thumbs up too. You can also join our Facebook group page by going to dailyclassics.org, O-R-G. That's the URL. So if you put that URL in your browser, it'll take you right to the Facebook page and you can become a member there too. Okay. And that's it. I'm going to try to do these daily and I hope you enjoyed it. And we'll see you sometime tomorrow. Thank you. Have a good night.